Happy Friday, everyone! I've got Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey with me today, and that means it's time for another episode of Toy Box Tutorials. In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to use the Vehicle Trick Tracker. You can find this toy under the Creativi-toys drawer once you purchase it from the toy store. This is a relatively new Creativi-toy that was introduced in Disney Infinity 3.0. It keeps track of the number of stunt tricks that you perform while you're driving a vehicle. Whether you do a single trick in the air before your wheels return to the ground, or you string together a combo of multiple tricks, this toy helps you keep track of that. And we go into Spark mode here. I've already dropped one over here to save a little time, so let's start by looking at the toy itself, and then we'll use it to build a little mission. So if we open up the logic menu and we look at the properties, you'll see there is one property. It's called Successful Landing Required. And if you turn this property on, what this means is that when you leave the ground in your vehicle and you're in the air and you're performing tricks, in order for those tricks to count, you have to successfully land your vehicle. If you crash it into the ground, those tricks won't count. Doesn't matter how many tricks you strung together in the air for your combo, they won't count. So I'm going to leave this on for my little game. And if you look at the logic connections, you'll see there's several trigger signals here. It will let you broadcast when one trick is performed, or two tricks, or three, or four, or five, or more. This is how many tricks you happen to be able to perform before your vehicle returns to the ground. And you can hook these trigger signals up to anything. Alright, there's also some behaviors associated with this, and for right now let's just tap into this dynamic trigger over here, because I don't really care. We'll do a new logic connection when on. I just want to get over here so I can show you these. So this toy, the Vehicle Trick Tracker, has two behaviors. You can turn it on or you can turn it off. Off is the default setting, which means when you place this toy, it's not going to do anything until you explicitly turn it on, and that's very important to know. Let me cancel out of that. So now that you've seen what this toy offers, let's build an example that demonstrates what this toy can do. And I could have built a game where you score points by doing as many tricks as possible, but I've already done that in other videos. I want to show you instead that this toy is not limited to that, because you can hook it up to anything, not just a counter or a scoreboard. So we're going to build a simple little challenge mission. I've added some vehicle weapon generators around the course, and we covered that toy back in episode 68. And we're going to set Elsa over here, whom I placed out of the character townspeople. We're going to set her up as a mission giver. And if you can impress her with your driving skills by stringing together a combo of at least two tricks, then she will activate those vehicle weapon generators for you. And when you race around the course, you'll have those available. So that's the goal of our little mission here. And to do that, we're going to need a few toys. As I said, I placed Elsa here, and I've already set her property ahead of time to stand still for her behavior so she doesn't wander off on us. I've also got a radar marker and a dynamic trigger and a text displayer and a sound effect generator and a logic gate. And I've placed all of these ahead of time just to save time. We've covered all of these toys before in this series, so if you need a refresher on any one of them, you can revisit those episodes. So let's set their properties first, and we'll start with the radar marker here. Actually, let's go ahead and connect them right up. So we'll connect that up to Elsa. She's going to be our actor. And for the properties on this toy, the beacon type I'm going to set to a yellow exclamation point. Beacon location needs to be the connected actor, which is Elsa. And we're going to make this on by default. So when you enter the toy box, that will be on. For the dynamic trigger, new actor connection as well. Connect that up to Elsa. And on the properties for the dynamic trigger, the target needs to be the connected actor. And we'll set a trigger distance of 4 around her. That's a 1 block radius. So you have to be fairly close to her to activate this. On the text displayer, we'll set the text duration to 4 seconds and the text style to banner. And for the sound generator, we'll turn off the 3D sound at speaker or locator. And there's really nothing over here we need to do for these toys. We're going to turn these on dynamically, so all of those will stay in their default states. Alright, so now that we've got Elsa ready to go, we can connect our toys. So everything is triggered off of this dynamic trigger. So when the player approaches Elsa, that's when she'll tell you what she wants. So on the dynamic trigger, we'll do a new logic connection. When entered, by player, any. First thing we'll do is turn off this radar marker. The next thing we'll do, new logic connection when entered, by player, any. Come over to our text displayer, and under the start category, she'll say go. And the dynamic trigger, a new logic connection when entered, by player, any. The last thing that will do is turn on the vehicle trick tracker. So now this toy will be active. Alright, and then once we're done with this toy has done all of that, we should turn this toy off. So we'll go to the radar marker and we'll do a new logic connection when the radar marker is deactivated, which was done from the dynamic trigger. We'll turn around and come back to the dynamic trigger and turn that off. So she'll only do this one time. Okay, so then Mickey will hop in the vehicle and go do his tricks, and as soon as he can string together a combo of 2 tricks, that's where the vehicle trick tracker comes in. And so on this toy, we'll do a new logic connection when 2 tricks are performed, and you can specify whether it's player 1 doing this, or player 2, or all players. Really means any player. Or you can do this by team if you want, but we're going to just do all players. So it doesn't matter what player does this. As soon as they do 2 tricks, let's come over to our sound generator, and we'll do our standard musical fanfare for the completion of a mission. We'll also do 2 tricks, all players. We'll come over to the vehicle weapon generators and do a random loadout, and that will also turn that on. And we need to do that for each of the weapon generators. So a new logic connection when 2 tricks are performed by all players. Come over here to this one and do a random loadout. Okay. And new logic connection when 2 tricks are performed by all players or any player. We'll use this logic gate to input into that, because again you can't tell a toy to connect to itself, so we'll do an input to that, and then on that toy we'll do an output, and we'll come back over here and turn this off. Alright, so if you do a combo of 2 tricks, that will turn those things on. Now what happens if you do a combo of 3 tricks? Well, that's going to broadcast this trigger signal, not that one. And so it's really important to have this signal do exactly what that one did. So this also, for 3 tricks, you want to make sure, unless you want it to be just exactly 2 tricks, but we'll do 3 tricks as well. So musical fanfare, new logic connection when 3 tricks are performed by all players. We need to come over to each of these and turn those on, and so forth. Because 2 tricks means exactly 2 tricks. If you do 3, that won't count. So any of the possible trigger signals have to be accounted for. We'll come over to our logic gate and input. And this already has the output coming from there to turn this off. Now, you probably would want to do this as well, those exact same steps for 4 or 5, except for the fact that these ramps are fairly short compared to the other wooden ones, as we noted last time. So you're not going to get a lot of big air off of these where you can do that many tricks. And so 2 or 3 probably are all you're going to be able to do, and I struggle just to get 2 to work. But there is our little mission. So we can go ahead and demonstrate how this works. So again, the vehicle trick tracker is turned off right now. So if I hop in my snowmobile and I'm doing things, this is not going to keep track of that. But we come and talk to Elsa, and she says go, and now this toy is active. And so now we can hop in the vehicle. And let's see if me, with my abysmal driving skills, can actually pull this off. I did it on the first try. Wow. All right, and now you can see those are on. You heard the musical flourish from the sound generator, which says that I had actually accomplished that mission. And so there we go. So that's it for the vehicle trick tracker. You can use that, again, to connect up to any toy you want. So you can use it to keep a score, which I did in my Phineas and Ferb series. If you look at that and you look at the Monster Truck Rally, you can see how to use the vehicle trick tracker to actually build a game that keeps score based on the number of tricks that you perform. And that's a common usage for that. But hopefully with this episode you can see that this toy can do so much more. You can use it to turn on other toys. You can use it to activate or deactivate other things. So doing stunts in the air can do all kinds of fun stuff. But with that, I think we've covered all the racing toys. Next time we'll start looking at a new set of toys. Until then, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you go if you haven't already done that. Take care.